Morning, all. All right, so 6 games tonight in the National Hockey League. We got 3 early ones, 3 late ones. I like the separation like that. That's my favorite scheduling. So hopefully there's a lot of this year. Starting off with 3 at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Boston and Washington. These teams meeting for the first out of 3 games. They will meet on February 11th. They will meet on April 11th as well. For the Boston Bruins, new players include Pavel Zacha and David Krejci returning counts, I guess, as a new player. I think Krejci probably would have returned late last year if they wouldn't have had to get him through waivers before they could grab him. But yeah, Swayman I would expect to be the starter. We'll see. Could end up being Olmark. On the Washington side of things, Dylan Strome, of course, stepping into a role of some importance and feeling wanted. We'll see how things go for him. Connor Brown, big addition from the Ottawa Senators. Gustafson added on the blue line, and Darcy Kemper in addition in net. So it is a very different looking team for Washington in parts, and we'll see how all these parts come together. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Columbus and Carolina get going. Their first of 3 meetings, they'll meet again on January 7th and January 12th. So by January 12th, they're done with one another, but after tonight, they don't see each other till January 7th. On the Columbus side, Columbus, there's a lot expected from them. And Goudreau, Olivier, I don't have a good Branson up there, but Branson would be a new name as well. And so we'll see how things go for Johnny Goudreau on a new team for the first time in his career. He's always been a Flame. Now he's with Columbus. And so we'll see how things go for him. Elvis Merzlikins, of course, a lot of how this season goes will end up resting on how his season goes. On the Carolina side, they've added Burns, they've added Coughlin, Stastny, Kasha, and of course, Pacioretty is on LTIR. But once they have Pacioretty back, it's quite the attack they'll have. Their starting goaltender, of course, is Freddie Anderson. So this interesting game here, and again, it is very early, but if you saw the excitement in the first 2 games last night for Vegas as well as for the Rangers, it's never too early for some excitement if you're a hockey fan, right? 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Toronto and the Montreal Canadiens meet for the first of 4 meetings this year. They'll meet again on January 21st, February 18th, and April 8th. It is not a surprise, nor is it a coincidence that a lot of their games end up taking place on a Saturday. So I'm weirded out a little bit that this is the middle of the week, but hey, it is the season opener. For Toronto, Aston Reese just got his contract. Yarncroke, of course, signed over the summer. Malgin makes his return. Obey Kubel added from his Stanley Cup final run with the Colorado Avalanche. He does get a ring, of course, as a member of that team, and he dented the cup. So there's that. Matt Murray, the starter for this game, Samsonov, will start tomorrow. For Montreal, they're newbies. There's a bunch. In terms of the veterans, you've got Matheson, you've got Kovacevic, who they added on waivers from Winnipeg, Dodonov, who of course comes over from Vegas, Kirby Dach from Chicago. And it's really a matter of trying to put all these pieces together and see how many wins they can cobble together. Jake Allen, the expected starter. I will say, though, one thing with Montreal, and it should start tonight, this is a team that should be able to score goals and generate offense. I don't know about the defense and the goaltending, but they should be fun to watch. Then we fast forward 2.5 hours, and at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, the Chicago Blackhawks in against the Colorado Avalanche. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on January 12th and March 20th. For Chicago, there's a lot of new faces, including Tenorti, who of course was added on waivers. Jack Johnson picked up as a free agent, as was Max Domi and Andreas Athanasiou, and picked up in a trade Jason Dickinson. Mrazek expected to be the starter this season for the Chicago Blackhawks, and so we'll see how things go. And I do hope Dickinson has a good season for Chicago. He needs that after the disastrous season he had last year for Vancouver. On the Colorado side, things are largely the same for them. Notables, Rodriguez, Sedlak being added, and Francouz the expected starter for the Colorado Avalanche this season. Then we get to the later starts at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, the Seattle Kraken in against the Anaheim Ducks. So I'm wearing Anaheim because why not? This is the first of 4 meetings. They'll meet again on November 27th, March 7th, and March 30th. For Seattle, this is an important year for them. We'll see if they get off to a better start than they did in year one. Schultz, Burakovsky, Bjorkstrand are notables amongst the newbies in the lineup. And of course, you got a rookie or two out there. Grubauer, the goaltender, looking to have a big bounce back year for Seattle. On the Anaheim side, a lot of new names, including Klingberg, Strome. That's Ryan Strome, as Ryan Strome's making his debut with Anaheim. Dylan Strome's making his debut with Washington. So I'm guessing their parents probably going to be up late watching some hockey. Leeson added on waivers from the Washington Capitals. Beaulieu signed as a free agent, as was Kulikov. And, of course, Vetrano brought in. And Vetrano, honestly, could have a really big year for Anaheim if their attack is good. Gibson, of course, is the expected starter for them during this season. And when I'm saying the starters, I don't mean tonight. I mean just in general, they're expected to be the starter. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers meet for the first of 3 meetings this year. They'll meet again on December 23rd and January 21st. On the Vancouver side, Lazar is one of the additions, and I think he's going to fit in quite well. Stillman, of course, picked up in a trade for Dickinson. Kuzmenko brought in from the KHL as a free agent, and we'll see what a steal he is on a 1-year contract. Remember, with Kuzmenko, he'll be UFA next summer. Demko in net. And last night, I heard Elliot Friedman pick him to possibly win the Vezina. I like the spirit. I still think it's going to be Shesterkin, but that's me. On the Oilers side, of course, they pick up Ryan Murray from Colorado. There's rookies coming in. There's various pieces on this team that have moved around, but it's going to look largely the same as the one that went to the Final Four last year. And Jack Campbell is now going to be the starting goaltender with Skinner as the backup. So complete change of the battery, the goaltending battery in Edmonton. We'll see how that charges them up for this season opener and the rest of the season. I expect a lot of goals. We didn't see that many in the first game last night, but we did see some in the second game, and I would expect some tonight as well. Usually the scoring is higher to start the season than it is later in the season. So if we see a lot of defensive matchups early, it could lead to goal scoring dropping around the league, which, again, was one of the questions I had before the season started. Are we going to see scoring go up? Are we going to see it go down? What's going to happen? Early returns would say scoring looks like it might go down, but only 6 teams have played so far. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.